Hello and welcome back. I'm going to continue on the journey that we've started this month with taking three themes and extrapolating off of them so that we can help build our daily writing goals for NaNoWriMo or our daily writing goals overall. And as always, we are going to be using the Gift of Virtue Clarity Pack to deliver the themes that we're going to be using today. So if you want to use these themes in together, or if you wanted to use them independently, you can also do that. I'm going to try to connect them all together as an idea of my own, and you can use that if you want to, or you can do whatever you want with the themes that are presented. So let me start with the first theme, which is profundity. Fancy word there. And then the second word and the second theme is gratitude. That is the second theme that we're going to be looking at today. And the third one is flexibility. And so we'll look at those themes over the course of the day: flexibility, gratitude, and profundity. And so I want to start with flexibility because that is a character trait in a lot of ways. Is that there are characters in the world who are very easily bendable in any direction. They don't necessarily have a true center, and they don't necessarily have lines that they cross. They're very flexible, meaning that if you want them to do something, they're going to do it. And so that's something that you want to look at if you're going to create a character. How flexible do you want that character to actually be? And so does this character have full flexibility, or are they completely inflexible? That's another version of flexibility that you might want to explore in your stories. Another one would be gratitude. This is the second one. And you can think about it in terms of an older child coming to talk to his or their parents, and then talking about the gratitude that person has, about the flexibility that the parents had in understanding the trials and tribulations of this child as they were growing up. And so that's something that you can think about, is like, when would a person need to be grateful for flexibility, right? Especially somebody else's or even their own. They can come to this startling realization that their ability to flex and to move and to bob and weave and to not necessarily stay still has allowed them to avoid a lot of the traps that other people might have had. So in a career environment, someone might realize that they are now being promoted to the president of a division just by being able to be relaxed and flexible and just roll with the punches. And this can come through a moment of profundity, right? Or profundity, where suddenly this is this great moment of, it's like an epiphany, right? This just amazing moment of knowledge that gets dumped onto them. So suddenly someone who has no reason to be the president of a division is suddenly being made the president of a division, and their future boss, or the outgoing president of the division, or whatever it is, just basically says, you have no idea how grateful this company is for your ability to bob and weave and to take on everything that we've given you. You have all the tools that you need to do my job as I'm leaving, because you were able to just take on anything, bob and weave, and do whatever it takes and be as flexible as possible to get to this particular point where on paper you should not be anywhere near here. But your capabilities, and it grew because you were able to not fence yourself in. You were able to bob and weave, and we are ultimately grateful for your dedication to the company. And through that conversation, the character that gets promotion has this sort of moment of profound knowledge dropped upon them that, wow, I always thought I was weak because I didn't stand for anything, and all of a sudden now I'm being rewarded for the fact that I was able to stay out of the way and bob and weave. That's a corporate version of this. There are other ways that you can interpret this, of course. So that was like my first go around, and again, this in today's age of quiet quitting, that might not necessarily be the right short story to write. But you can start thinking about that as having those characters, those squirrely characters. Like, think of Game of Thrones or or some of those other shows where there's always this character that just rolls to the left right when they need to and rolls to the right when they need to, and all of a sudden they find themselves the hand of the king, right? And people, for some reason, are very grateful for their service, whether or not it's true or false, or they're just lying to their face about it. It still exists. That gratitude still exists because suddenly you have to be grateful to this person who's bobbed and weaved themselves into this great moment of their career. So I'm going to leave it go at that. These are 3 interesting themes that you can incorporate into your writing. If you're doing NaNoWriMo, this might create a little side pocket, a little side story or a side quest that somebody goes on where they suddenly learn something about themselves and they have to roll with the punches and find that they have to be grateful for something, right? They have to be grateful to somebody to allow them to be where they currently are. And that somehow through all of this, there's this startling revelation that all of this was planned. That's another way of looking at it. That this was all just a leveraging of a person's knowledge. So I'm going to leave it go at that. That's my interpretation of it. And I hope you have a really great day writing. And I will talk to you soon.